Hello and welcome to the Geek Sandbag. Today I shall be reviewing Doctor Who Series 8 Episode 3, Robot of Sherwood. So, on guard! So, what did I think of Robot of Sherwood? Well, overall I actually really enjoyed it. I love the start with the Doctor coming out of the TARDIS and saying no pretty castles, no damsels in distress, and no Robin Hood, and then the arrow shooting into the TARDIS. And that was a lovely touch, having the TARDIS heal itself, I thought, when the Doctor took the arrow out. I also love the initial scene where the Doctor is challenged to a duel by Robin Hood and he pulls out the spoon. I thought that was a lovely little scene. One thing that did annoy me though was Clara giggling away in the background like a schoolgirl. I mean, after all, the Doctor was possibly about to be impaled by a sword, so that didn't really work. And the other thing, what's going on with the TARDIS door in that scene? In the long shots it's wide open, the close-ups it's shut, and then in the next shot it's slightly open again. Whoever's in charge of continuity wasn't doing their job that day. But minor quibbles aside, it was a good start to the episode. Going back to Clara for a second though, she really irritated me in this story. The last two episodes I've really started to sort of grow to like Clara, and she's been given some good character development. In this story, she's gone back to two-dimensional Clara that we've seen in the previous series. And that's a shame because Jenna Coleman's really acted her socks off in the last two stories. And in this one, she seemed to be just going through the motions. And she spent most of the episode giggling, gawping and fawning over Robin Hood. And I think that was a real shame considering the work that's been done in the last two episodes. So hopefully we'll get back to feisty, well-written Clara next week. Enter Ben Miller as the Sheriff of Nottingham, and I've been looking forward to Ben in this episode. I do think he slightly hammed up the acting a bit. He didn't quite seem to know where to pitch the performance, but overall I thought he was good. Like a lot of other people, I noticed a striking resemblance between him and Anthony Ainley as the Master. In fact, at one point I did wonder if he was going to turn out to be the Master. I didn't like his initial scene though, where he stabbed that old man in the stomach. I found that a bit unnecessary. I did like the scene with the Doctor trying to find out if the Merry Men were real by taking blood samples. I thought Peter Capaldi played that scene really well and got the humour just right. As each week goes by, I am loving Peter Capaldi more and more as the Doctor. The scenes with the tournament inside the castle I thought were good. I love the design of the actual robot knights themselves with the laser in the head. I thought they looked fantastic and worked well. When the Doctor and Robin and Clara were locked in the cell together, I thought the scene initially started off quite well. There was some good humour in there, but it did go on too long and got a bit silly, I thought. However, I did like it when they knocked the keys down the drain. I thought that was a really nice humorous touch. Now, the BBC did announce prior to the transmission of the episode that they were going to cut a scene which featured the sheriff being beheaded, and this was due to recent events in the news. And I completely understand their decision for doing this. Having seen the scene, however, I hope they reinstate it when it gets an official release, because it does show quite an important plot point, which reveals that the sheriff was actually half android. And there is a line in the episode which kind of says that, but it's easily lost. I think this scene does obviously show that much better. So yeah, hopefully they'll reinstall that when it does get official release. I love the scene with the Doctor and Robin Hood at the end, where Robin Hood's pointing out the similarities between the two of them. I thought that was rather nice after all the bickering, and I like the Doctor's grumpy reaction when Robin Hood reveals that Clara's been blabbing all about him stealing the TARDIS. He didn't look best pleased. The actual overall ending, well, things tied up quite nicely, but I did find the bit where the three of them sort of shot the arrow into the spaceship at the end a little bit cheesy, but it just about worked. So, the eagle-eyed amongst you may have spotted some nice references to the classic series in this episode. At the beginning, the Doctor mentioned the Ice Warriors hive on Mars, which was a reference to the Big Finish audio Red Dawn, which was nice. He also suggested at one point in the episode they may be trapped in a miniscope, which was a wonderful reference to the brilliant Third Doctor story Carnival of Monsters. Talking of the Third Doctor, I'm sure many of you spotted him trying out a bit of Venusian Aikido on one of the robot knights, which was fantastic. And there was a couple of Fifth Doctor references as well. At one point the Doctor said he was searching for enlightenment, which was a Fifth Doctor story, and also the establishing shot of the castle was Bodnian Castle, which was used in the Fifth Doctor story The King's Demon, so that was nice as well.
but by far the best treat was when the Doctor checked the spaceship memory banks and we caught a glimpse of Patrick Troughton as Robin Hood from the 1953 TV series. Incidentally, Patrick Troughton was the first ever actor to play Robin Hood on television. Fantastic.
So, did you spot this week's colourful character? And by that, I mean the person who has a colour for a surname. In Deep Breath, we had Danny Pink. In Into the Dalek, we had Journey Blue. And this week, in amongst Robin's merry men, we had Will Scarlet. So, what does it all mean, Mr. Moffat? So, overall, I enjoyed Robot of Sherwood. I guess you could call it an enjoyable romp. There's some similarities to Deep Breath in terms of storyline, if you think about it, with these half-human, half-robotic beings trying to escape Earth to get to the Promised Land. But I thought Peter Capaldi was fantastic as the Doctor once again. Jenna Coleman, not so great this week. I also noticed that the incidental music has started to creep up in volume again and did drown out some of the dialogue, so I hope they tone that down a bit for next week's episode, especially as it's called Listen. That does look brilliant, by the way, judging by the trailer, so I'm really looking forward to that. So overall, I'm going to give Robot of Sherwood a rating of 6 out of 10. Right, now the review's over, I can go and shave off this ridiculous goatee beard. Please check out thegeeksandbag.com for all the latest news and videos, subscribe to the YouTube channel, like the Facebook page, and do say hi on Twitter. Until the next time, guys, you take care. Bye-bye! So do you come here often?